Hey guys, so today we're gonna be reacting to a video that I saw while scrolling my YouTube feed. Basically, the title of the video is Why Competitive Games Died, which is kind of interesting because if you look at Twitch, a lot of the top games are competitive games per se. But then I started thinking about the esports of certain games like Apex, Fortnite, where yeah, the esports of those games are doing pretty poorly. So I was wondering if that video would touch on the esports side of these games or if they were just going to talk about the games in general because they also included a picture of Valorant on there and I was like, "Really? If there's any competitive game that I feel like is doing well, it would be Valorant." So I'm just gonna react to it. I decided to go live on Twitch to react to it, so I saved it. I haven't even seen any parts of this video. Maybe I could be completely wrong, but nonetheless, let's get right into it.
This video might be the first video that I really feel like I have to make because I've
Ooh, I
noticed
like
that a
those kind
lot
of
of
videos where
people
the
have been
passion
stuck
and the
in the
energy and the
exact same
drive all comes
addicted
together.
grind loop that I have been for the past, well, I don't know, 7 years of my life. And that is competitive PvP video games. I am not going
Sounds so
to beat
depressed when
around
you
the
said it
bush in
too.
this video. I feel like in a lot of videos that I made like this, I do this great big grand intro where I set things up and everything, and I'm not going to do that
Let's see.
today.
He
I
has
kind
one
of said my
on
piece, and I
how
know a lot of people are
esports
here
tanked.
to
Okay.
see why I think competitive
Disappointment
gaming is
Overwatch
dead, the
2.
facts behind it, is
Understandable.
that true at all, and
Call
what
of
games
Duty
competitive
Esports,
scenes are dead,
Apex,
and how did
Legends
they
let
die.
down,
And don't worry, I'm gonna go
CS2,
into all
League
of
of
that. All I
Legends,
ask before I dive
Fortnite.
straight in for once, maybe you leave
Valorant
a
is
comment, tell me
okay.
how your day was, tell me
Interesting.
your opinions
The
on this
culture
video after
shift.
it's ended, and if you did really enjoy.
This is going to be kind of interesting because I like the fact that he split up each of the video sections on certain games, which some of these games I can understand. And like I also agree with him that Fortnite's competitive scene used to be immaculate. It used to be top notch. I don't know why Epic Games decided to just drop the ball on Fortnite's competitive scene, but I'm curious what he's going to say. I was kind of hoping that the Valorant section would be a little bit longer than this. It looks like it's about just 1 minute long and whatnot, but we'll see how we'll keep watching. We'll keep watching.
Like, for example, Overwatch not being able to be a game that's actually played in China has removed the existence of Overwatch League's viewership in China,
Whoa,
which
I didn't know
accounted for
that.
basically
Overwatch is not allowed in China. Why is that? Hold on. Oh, that's a huge viewership. Oh my goodness. Blizzard's just taking L's. I mean, I knew Overwatch was like down horrendous, but just excluding a whole country, a powerhouse of an economic country too.
has removed the existence
I
of
didn't even know
Overwatch League's
that.
viewership in China. So there's
I hope
overall
he
less
tells us why they
competitors,
did
less
that.
matches, overall less money spent. Apex has done it, Overwatch has done it as well. I bet there's a bunch of other game series doing it too. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be saying to themselves right now, what the hell, Big Citrus? You said this was competitive PvP gaming is dead. I don't necessarily care about esports. Trust me. I mean, even outside of esports, a lot of these competitive games are dead due to a number of reasons, but I will get into the reasons that the competitive mode for the casual player is dead later. I'm going to focus on the esports bit just for now. At the end of the day, major shareholders and people at the top of all these companies are only going to care about the teensy small percentage chance to make a teensy small bit amount of more of money. And if eliminate,
I find this kind of interesting because I always thought of esports as when a game invests into their esports, I always thought of it as just an advertisement for their game, which is why I kind of look at Riot differently as well. Because I'm not too sure if Riot makes a lot of money off of Valorant just because they give organizations so much of their own money in forms of stipends and then the whole like split cost of skin revenue as well. I wonder if Riot is making a profit in all this investment that they're doing just directly from esports. I think it's a positive, a net positive for a game like Valorant for sure, where I've noticed whenever a major tournament is happening in Valorant, the player growth, the people talking about that esports, and just the activity in the community increases a lot. I wonder if there's some type of way where you can measure that increase of player activity to its revenue and kind of justify the whole idea of esports being a giant advertisement for your game per se. But that's just my
Eliminating
opinion.
overall
Or
support for
something that
esports or
comes
just
up into my
cutting a
mind.
division together is what's going to get that, then that's what's going to happen. A lot of people don't want to admit this, but the casual gamer does not care that much about esports. I have a
I mean, eh, casual. I think of myself as a casual Valorant player, you know? I like the esports. I definitely watch the playoffs of Valorant tournaments. Am I watching every single match in each and every single league and region in Valorant? Probably not, no. But I think I'm a casual. I think people love watching documentaries on Valorant esports, which is one of the things where like the eScore got so popular was because people watched those documentaries on certain Valorant teams. I think people care about it. I think the problem with some esports is the watchability. I'm not I know I made a lot of Valorant esports videos. Maybe not even a lot. But I have to say when it comes to watchability, Apex and Fortnite it's a little bit more fun to watch than Valorant. But Valorant, when you get to those top teams competing, it's a blast to watch the top teams competing. It's just that the grind to get there is somewhat painful. I think watchability also has a factor into like how interested casuals are. Because when you look at some of the top Valorant content creators, a lot of them are professional players, believe it or not. There are professional players, and those professional players impact casuals' interest into the game as well, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
lot of casual gamer friends, and the truth is they don't really care for esports and they don't really watch them. And even myself, who considers myself super hardcore into competitive, PvP games, especially FPS games and everything, I myself do not find myself watching esports that often. The only game I ever really got into watching the esports for was Apex, and that was when I was uber interested in the game, and ever since I stopped playing it, I have not, watched it or looked at it. But that's also kind of another reason that esports orgs are dying, is because it turns out that when you take someone who spent a lot of their time perfecting their craft, playing hundreds of hours, every week on a single game, and you give them a contract for $1 million, and then they get a huge whiff of fame and attention, and it turns out that a lot of them reveal themselves to be pretty shitty people at their core, and you gotta drop a lot of people, and you gotta fire a lot of people, and that creates drama, that creates distrust in a brand, and resentment towards company that started the division and benched this player or suspended them. Also, esports had a big boom during the COVID pandemic.
I think sometimes drama can be a good thing for fans' interest, but it's definitely a double-edged sword because especially with this champs pass with the whole drama between EG versus all of China, all of China, it kind of gave people more interest and investment into those games. But the thing is like if you're too emotional about the outcome of a certain game and it doesn't go your way, that can lead to burnout and you turning your back to the game altogether. I mean, that's how I felt whenever the Falcons played the Patriots in the Super Bowl and they just a massive choke job. I just stopped watching football altogether. That's what happened with me. But I think drama can be good and bad, but especially there there's levels to it, right? You don't want drama that just ruins your brand per se, right? If it's just like friendly banter, friendly trash talk here and there, it's okay. But if it starts to like get below the belt per se, that's when things should typically take a turn for the worse.
Pandemic and everything, when everyone was locked in their homes, a lot of people just got into gaming in general, and people got huge into esports. And the truth is, a lot of these companies took the money they made from esports and they invested it back into esports, and now they're not seeing a return on those profits because viewership is down, because people don't have the time to watch it, or they found new interests. And maybe the reason that a lot of people don't care about esports as much as they used to a few years ago is because the game's competitive modes themselves and the games themselves have ultimately decreased in quality and aren't as good or fun anymore. I'm gonna anger a lot of people, and I'm not gonna lie, some of this is
I do like the fact that he pointed out with the whole pandemic boosting numbers, everybody's numbers, like not just for esports or gamers, just anybody who was on their internet, your numbers got boosted if you're a content creator. just because more people had time at home and less things to do. So they just watched more content or played video games more. And I kind of we saw that in Valorant as well, where once the pandemic was starting to let up a little bit, Valorant saw like a massive decline in its viewership. But recently, it's been getting back up in viewership, right? The past champs came pretty close to topping the Optic champs as well. It didn't surpass them, unfortunately, but it's getting back up there. So it's kind of showing that if you, it's not just about if you reinvest the money into your esports, it's how you invest that money into your esports. If you're doing a good enough job, eventually you can get back to those pandemic numbers and possibly even surpass them if you know what you're doing. The thing is, a lot of these companies, I think, don't know what they're doing just because esports in general is such a new thing compared to like some traditional sports. And Riot Games, I think, is doing the best job at it, even though some people have some criticisms with them. But if you want to see how to run our esports correctly, I think people need to start looking at what Riot Games is doing more often, as well as looking at what their communities want to.
Pretty hard for me to admit
Just my
myself,
thought.
but you know, it has to be said. This is just a minor PSA. If you're someone like me who used to grind competitive games thinking that you were gonna be the next Shroud or somebody, just a super ultra cracked gamer who was gonna make a career out of esports, if you really want it that badly, there are millions of other people who are just like you. You're going to have to grind literally 10 hours every single day.
I'm curious about the people who are watching this. How many of y'all actually thought you could go pro in the sport or in a video game? Because I never really thought I could go pro in any game that I touched. I just wanted to have fun and just develop my skills further. Going pro was never really a thought of mine. But then again, I always just loved YouTube more than the idea of going pro in a video game. Like when I play competitive video games, I just want to be better than I was yesterday. At least that's my mindset. I'm curious if anyone else has a similar mindset, or if you just really wanted to go pro in general. Like you wanted to be the top 0.1% of gamers.
Unless you're just naturally super talented on these games to compete with all of these players. I'm gonna go over basically every single like game that's like really popular right now, starting with the game that I get asked the most about.
Whoa, that looks familiar. I wonder where he got that screenshot from.
All the people asking to bring 2CP or like Old Orisa or Old Bastion back. What the fuck is wrong with you? What kind of like potato goddamn brain dead game were you playing? We just must not operate on the same wavelengths, because I will never understand why you found any of that shit fun. But
that is true. He has a point. Like one thing I did notice is I want to say maybe it was like 4 or 5 months after the release of Overwatch 2. I was seeing videos of people actually begging for 6v6 to come back. And which was kind of shocking to me because the big deal was from what I heard from the outside looking in, basically, was that the 5v5 was so much better because 6v6 was so toxic with the double tanks and all the shenanigans, but just having one tank seemed to be like a lot better for people. And people were praising 5v5 in the beginning, and then you had like it just goes to show you that nostalgia is one hell of a drug. It just really goes to show you
regardless, Blizzard did alienate die-hard Overwatch 1 fans with the new game, and a lot of people don't like that the game is a lot more skill-based now. Hit scan and sniper characters dominate a lot more in the current meta, and of course, there's not 2 tanks anymore. When you're playing as tank, your performance is so much more important now. Game and the overall sentimentality around the game.
I gotta be honest though, whenever I did watch people play Overwatch, I was mad confused as to what the hell was going on. So I can only imagine how crazy the watchability was in this game in the esports sense. It must have been crazy. I can only imagine how hard it must have been to commentate a game like Overwatch 2. At the end of the day, Overwatch 2 was just Overwatch 1.5. It was just an update. So I kind of saw the writing on the wall for this game, for the quote unquote sequel anyways, but
game is that it was a huge giant microtransaction update and a scam. So I think those people just aren't so hot in Overwatch right now. I'm just gonna lump like COD multiplayer and Warzone into the same section here, because who the fuck watches like Warzone esports? Like who
I didn't even
gives
know
a fuck
Warzone had an
about like
esports.
arcade shooter PUBG battle royale? Also, who gives a fuck about COD multiplayer esports? I know I'm gonna anger a lot of people with this, but the truth is Call of Duty is a very simplistic game at
I'm
its
not gonna
core.
lie, I've never
It is
watched a Call of Duty
movement,
esports
reaction
match
times
ever.
and very minor
I didn't
amounts
even.
of game
I don't
sense.
think I've
Compared
ever
to
seen one
basically
on
every other
Twitch
competitive game that's been in the market for the
either.
past like 3 years. It is trivial. It is for babies. Honestly, the biggest reasons that COD multiplayer is an esport is just something that people aren't interested right now is because, let's be real, no one cares about Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. Well, let's not even talk about Warzone. No one cares about that. No one cares about Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. The only people who are playing Modern Warfare 2 right now are people who've been playing every Call of Duty game as it came out for a year straight until
He's
the new
not
one
wrong,
came
man's
out for
speaking
the last
facts.
15 years of their life. That is the only people who play Call of Duty multiplayer right now. It is addicts. It is heroin and crack addicts. I don't think there should have been an esports scene on this game to begin with, so I don't even think I can call it dead, because the Call of Duty esports scene to begin with, in my opinion, was trash.
I'm guessing this man does not like Call of Duty. He's going in. What did Call of Duty ever do to you? Oh my goodness. Who hurt you, man? Did you boot up a game and just get dumpstered on? I mean, I love the energy. I'm all for the energy, but what happened? Because I like Warzone. I like to play Warzone. I only played it again for just a week. It wasn't really my jam of a game. Just because at the time when Warzone did come out, I enjoyed a lot of Spellbreak. And I felt like it didn't have as much depth as I wanted it to have when you compare it to like other games that were on the market. And I do agree with him the fact that I don't think Call of Duty should have had an esports. It just seems when you compare it to other first person shooters who are that have an esports, it seems a lot more casual, even though any game can be competitive. Like look at Fall Guys. Fall Guys has a competitive scene, believe it or not. You can make anything competitive. Almost anything.
I know a lot of them put a lot of time in, and they're really good, but the truth is, if there's any game you're gonna watch an esport for, it's not gonna be Call of Duty. Just go Google someone's like no commentary random search and destroy match on YouTube and then commentate over it. You can upload it and pretend it's like a Call of Duty esport level match and no one will know the difference.
Apex Legends. This is one I'm actually kind of interested
Apex
in.
Legends is a game that, realistically speaking, should be like the fucking biggest game on planet Earth. It's
It
free
really
to play.
should.
It's a battle royale. It's made by EA, which is a brand that literally everyone knows. Every character.
I feel like Apex and Fortnite really dropped the ball in their esports and in their competitive scene. I don't know how EA is fumbling the bag with Apex. I just don't know because it's such a fun game to play at times, right? The only reason why I don't play Apex is just because I don't like looting for attachments. You know, that's just stupid in my opinion. There's already so much RNG that comes with battle royales. I don't want to loot attachments. That's the main reason why I don't play Apex. Is just the attachment royale aspects of it. But besides that, it's such a cool game. Like the trailers and everything, the way it plays, and even the movement is really nice. I don't even know how EA dropped the ball with
Is like
Apex.
pretty simple to play. It has a very unique style compared to other games nowadays, but still looks very modern. A lot of characters and locations are instantly recognizable and iconic, and of course the core gameplay mechanics with the sliding, the movement, the wall bouncing, the strafing, hitting someone for 110 in
Man,
the head with
he's
a
talking my
peacekeeper
love
just
language
sliding
right
by,
now.
immediately swapping to a sniper
Movement.
rifle, flying up into the air and headshotting someone with a sniper, using your abilities to get out of a very high intense situation and pop a shield battery behind a door as the enemies are trying to break in from the other side and you 1v3 them. It's such an intense feeling great game, yet it is run.
The end zones of Apex is some of the most intense moments you can watch when it comes to video games because it's crazy. It's like when it comes to intense end games, Apex, Fortnite, and Valorant is right there up. It's there. All three of them when it comes to the end games, like whenever like when you have 1v1s in Valorant or even the 1v3 and someone clutches it in Fortnite when there's like one zone left or the zone is moving and you see all this chaos happening. Like those three games is so much fun. I haven't seen any CS:GO, so I'm not gonna really talk about too much about CS:GO. I'm sure CS:GO has similar feelings, but just based on those 3 games that I've witnessed, it is immaculate.
Run by some of the biggest dumbasses you will ever see. And I'm not just
Hey.
it is
We got to
run
talk real quick
by
about
some of
this.
the biggest dumbasses.
I'm going to give Respawn some flack. Yes, sometimes when it comes to balancing, it's kind of wishy-washy, but what game has perfect balancing, right? I feel like most of the blame should go to EA. Respawn knows how to make banger video games, and EA knows how to ruin banger video games. I don't think we should be giving too much flack to Respawn. That's just me.
Masses you will ever see. And I'm not just blaming EA. No. Respawn's had it too good for too long. I hate when everyone tries to protect every fucking developer at Respawn Entertainment saying, oh, it's just big bad EA making all these decisions about the game. No, let's be real. Respawn has enough creative control for a lot of the things that have been implemented.
Now explain why to me EA would have Respawn make the rank system. Yeah. I mean, but that's battle royales though, you know? Like, how do you make a good rank system for a battle royale? Like, battle royales aren't really, I don't think they should be in well, let me not say they shouldn't be one, but when it comes to esports of a battle royale, it's more of a showcase of talent than like a measurement of talent, in my opinion. When it comes to esports of EA, where like, yes, you can witness the skills, you can see that these players are cracked, you can see that they know strategy, they know rotations, high ground wins, all that blah blah blah. But there's just so much RNG that it's hard to like have an accurate measurement of skill. So I mean, I don't blame them for having a pretty piss poor rank system, because at the end of the day, I mean, at least they're trying to make it good. I've seen worse rank systems in battle royales in the past and in general. I don't think it's the worst one that I've ever played. There's definitely been worse. Could it be better? Yeah, it's not the worst either.
Implemented into the game to not have been implemented. I'm not gonna go into tangents. I've talked about this shit in other videos. But like, why is aim assist not been nerfed? I don't want to fucking hear about the aim assist debate anymore.
I totally forgot about aim assist. He has a point. You can't. I don't know how you can justify like a competitive scene. Like, don't get me wrong. I have a controller. I use a controller. But I think the best thing you can do is either nerf aim assist to the ground, or you just gotta divide PC, or let me not even say PC, because there's some people who play controller on PC. You gotta divide like mouse and keyboard and controllers. It's just weird because when it comes to battle royales, controller players are so much more popular than mouse and keyboard players. So if you divide it, then your favorite like teams like HAL and TSM probably won't be making as much money if you divide those two scenes. So I do agree that aim assist is pretty damn strong in Apex.
That shit
And
needs
in
to
most
just
games
end.
in general.
Like, more than like over 50% of all pro players who used to play on PC on Apex have swapped to controller because it's better, it's more consistent, and it takes way less effort. Yeah,
I think aim assist is a lot easier to abuse. Let's say that. Like, your average Joe who just comes back from work probably doesn't abuse aim assist as much as professional players who know how to abuse aim assist. That's the thing, because professional players know how to basically turn aim assist into aimbot. But aim assist is just to help like your casuals bridge that gap between mouse and keyboard. Because if you're a casual controller player and you're going against a mouse and keyboard player, it's not fair if you're a casual. But if you take the time to learn how to like basically turn aim assist into aimbot, then you see the problem.
sure, the best keyboard and mouse player will be better than the best in the world controller player, but do you know how much hours and how much effort it took the best keyboard and mouse player to get there versus like an okay controller player that can compete with them? The truth is, aim assist does the most important thing for you, which is almost instantly locking you on to a target in close range in Apex, and 80% of the fights in Apex are close range, and those are the fights that definitely matter. 200,000 players in Masters rank on Apex Legends.
Almost 20% of Apex Legend players are in Masters, as people call rank meaningless. I guess Masters is like the second highest from Pred. I don't think that's a bad number. 20%. I don't think that's too bad. I think that's all right. Now if it was like 30 or 40%, then that might be an issue. But 20%, I don't think that's bad, especially for how long Apex has been. And you have people always just grinding the mess out of Apex. I don't think it's that bad if just 20% of people are in Masters.
When Masters used to be like the top 5%.
Shoot, I have friends who still play Apex and are hard stuck gold. And they've been playing since the release of Apex.
Tile of Apex Legends. Now, Diamond and above is almost like, what, a third of the player base? I don't fucking know. It's a ridiculous amount. Ranked is a joke right now. Anyone can get any rank they want.
But that's
and
just
the way that you earn
game
points
mode.
now is basically kind of
It's hard to make a
completely
good
the
rank system with a
antithesis
battle
of how a
royale.
ranked mode should work. Where then, what have we got in the past 2 years? 2 maps, 3 or 4 characters, a few new guns. I'm sorry. If you really want to keep the game refreshed, you need to be adding actually game-changing LTMs, not shit like Gun Run. Actually game-changing events that are not collection events. No. Please, no collection events. Give us some more unique challenges. Give us some more lore dumps. The casual fans love that shit.
I love how people always beg for more content and then want to make fun of a game like Fortnite for quote unquote dying, even though Fortnite's probably one of the most popular games still out right now. I'm just saying. Like when it comes to bringing out content, Epic Games knows what they're doing with Fortnite. I think Apex does an okay job with it. Because the thing is like when you release anything new, people are gonna hate it unless it's a game mode. One thing I've noticed is that people love to play new game modes, but they don't play them for long, which is why battle royale game modes are still so prevalent. Yeah, because like whenever these battle royales or even a game releases a new game mode, it's popular for like the first 2 weeks, and then people go back to whatever they were playing beforehand. And then when you release a new map or a new character, people don't like change, so they will just trash talk that new map or new character for a while. It's just human nature not to like change too much.
Apex Legends consistently refuses to listen to its players, and the grind has gotten stale for a lot of people, despite how amazing the game is and how amazing it could and should be. The ranked in that game is a complete joke right now, and basically every pro in the esports scene is feeling it, and a lot of them have been considering leaving for a while.
League of Legends.
Alright, I'm sorry, I can't watch League of Legends Esports. What the fuck is any of this? This shit is only popular in China, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
I think it's popular in Korea too, right?
It's actually really sad. Fortnite Esports used to be the pinnacle of esports, in my
really
opinion.
was.
I'm not even joking. It
Those
was
summer
booming.
skirmish,
It was a game that
the
was
World
very
Cup.
easy for people who didn't even play video games to watch and understand what was going on. It was very marketable
one
to
of a
children,
kind.
and it helped.
That's the crazy thing. Like Fortnite right now is considered a casual game, and yes, it is. But Fortnite, Epic Games could have made a game that was so popular for not just casuals, but for people who wanted to be competitive per se. Like they could have had like that balance of making a game for casuals and competitive players. The game that tries to please everybody and does a pretty damn good job at it. I feel like all they really needed to do was just remove all the broken aspects that are in their public matches and remove them out of their like ranked and esports matches. Like I still remember to this day, I forgot who it was. It was this one player who won a tournament or a match in Fortnite with that broken sword. It was like some kind of broken sword that can cut through builds, push people into zones out of their boxes. It was broken. Fortnite still does that. I don't know why. I don't know why Epic Games
That it was
allows
actually
that
built
kind of
to be a
stuff to happen in
competitive
their
game.
competitive
Building
scene.
was the main mechanic of the game, and it was by far the thing that took the most skill. There weren't as many game-breaking items in the game that destroyed buildings in half a second and could insta-kill enemies. It was mainly just about having a shotgun or a sniper and being able to have fast reaction times, flicking onto someone, and being able to build and have game sense and outthink your opponent. It was fun as fuck, and now it is basically Roblox Battle Royale. Still kind of fun though, I guess.
Valorant. Sorry, let's see what he's gonna.
You know, I hate to
Valorant.
say it, but more and more Valorant is winning me over to its good side. At least Riot Games tries a decent amount to, treat the competitive mode in the game like an actual competitive mode, giving you a fair amount of chances to dodge matches.
I'm waiting for the but, because there has to be a but. This guy is just hating on every competitive game. I'm waiting for him to nitpick Valorant real quick, because I we play Valorant, so we know there's some nitpicking to be
And
had.
forgiveness for, disconnecting and not losing all of your R. The game will actually rank you up 2 ranks at once if you're actually doing really well in consecutive matches. Also, there's just significantly more ranked rewards for that game than most other games are offering. And yes, the game is not perfect, but it does feel the most competitive base. And I hate to say it, but as an esport, Valorant's doing pretty well right now. Riot
He
Games
hates
seems like
to
really
say
the only
it.
company
That's
that is
crazy.
able to pin down exactly how to take a strictly competitive focused game and market it to a wide audience. I can't see Valorant esports being as popular as the Overwatch League at its peak, but hey,
500,000. I feel like it's just gonna take some time for Valorant to grow, for sure. And I just trust Riot that they know what they're doing. Hopefully, hopefully.
who knows where we'll be in a few years. It's really unfortunate that all these other games have gone to shit and I'm having to say good things about fucking Valorant.
Dang, he didn't really say anything bad about Valorant. That's kind of shocking.
The truth is, I think competitive games
So at
in
least
general are
he
just
does
not
have a
doing
brain
as well
on
anymore.
his
A
head.
lot of people I know, including
I thought he was
myself, have
gonna
been
say that
playing a lot
Valorant's
more
esports
single
was
player
dead or
games
something.
recently. Also, smurfing is a huge problem in literally every game. All of these games are free to play. Making a Smurf account is really easy.
Right.
In every game except for Overwatch 2, where you have to have like a phone number.
I feel like that's also an issue that's valid, but what do you expect companies to do? Like, smurfing is just such a player problem rather than, like, yes, it's a problem that the game has, but even if you make the game $20, right? To say you make the game $20, there's still going to be smurfs. I feel like probably the best thing you could do is have people verify their accounts with phone numbers. Yes, people can get multiple phone numbers and try to like make multiple accounts, but I think having a verification system with your phone will greatly reduce the amount of smurfs you will face.
Number and link to it and everything. You can just make a new account for free, make a new email, whatever, and make a new account and just level it up, and boom, splickety boom, you are
Yeah, I
ready to
think
play.
having
A
phone
lot of people who are
verification is
kind of like
basically the best
slightly
you
more
can
hardcore
do.
than a casual gamer are in gold. Some real
It's a pretty good
music,
video
trust me.
though.
Some
It got
people
my
like
attention
it. Spotify's
for
in
the
the
whole
description,
time.
and if you want to know, if you're
Yeah,
not
y'all
already,
can check out the
it
whole
would
video if y'all want to. Y'all didn't see that, but yeah, y'all can check out the whole video if you want to. I came into this video thinking that he was gonna trash talk Valorant, but he didn't. I kind of agree on most of the things he said, but yeah, y'all show some support to him. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.